Welcome to In the Bonus, a hoop show for hoop heads. My name is Av. I'm accompanied by my boy, big ball player Luck, and of course Vic on the ones and twos handling
right.
all the technical stuff. Um, yeah, let's get into it, man. Today,
Yes.
uh, the main topic that we're going to talk about is the top 10 point guards of the modern era. That's going to be, uh, moderately controversial on some of the choices, I'm sure. Um, But first, man, let's get into the future of the NBA, the future of hoops. We just finished
Hmm.
the season with the Celtics winning the chip. We're about to jump into
Yep.
preseason, just is about done, and we're about to jump into a new season. Um, any thoughts about what you anticipate occurring? Luck.
Well, for sure, I'm gonna say that big ups to where I'm from, New York, and I'm happy to say that I anticipate this is gonna be a New York Knicks year. I'm feeling for sure that no less than Eastern Conference Finals, no less than, but I'm pushing for the championship this year for sure. Barring injury, I think we have what we need to do this. Even though I'm mourning the loss of DiMincenzo because I was a big fan of that guy right
Yes,
there for
sir.
sure. But it's looking like a Knicks thing coming up from the East Coast. But I yield the floor for a second on that.
Vic, any thoughts about what you think is going to occur this season?
I'm interested in the way that the NBA structures the half season mark with the new rules and the new court system and the name of the entire what's the name of that theme that they do at the half year mark now with the colored ball courts.
Oh, you're talking about the in season tournament?
In season tournament, correct.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see, with that being in its second year, what that's going to actually yield for the league, and if that helps or hurts, if that is productive for the league or not, if the players truly embrace it, if the fans truly embrace it, and how that would overall work globally for the brand, for the image, and also an interesting point is, if it works for the NBA, will they use that in the WNBA? Because they need all the help they could get.
That's a good. That's a good.
I'll throw that back to the fellas.
No doubt, no doubt. You know what? I would love to see that this become a thing where this is what I would love to see it become, right? I would love to see it become something that kind of gives you an idea of who's going to make it to the Eastern Conference Final, who's going to make it to the Western Conference Finals. I want to see it become that sort of thing. So it gives the intrigue of a projection. You know what I mean? And then you got the drama of injuries that could occur after that, and then kind of discombobulate that picture a little bit to build a little more, not anticipation, but a little more drama, just a little more drama, like
Right.
that's where I see it. I would like to see it become that sort of thing, something that could kind of make a bit of a educated scene prediction on who's going to be in the final four of the NBA. That's kind of like what I'm looking at, hoping on that.
So
But
do you?
saying that, real quick to jump back in.
No, go ahead, please.
But also too, I like to see that happen in the NBA. Seeing how we're leading off with it in the NBA. But if it works out that way, then to see it in the women's basketball league, yeah, that'd be perfect. You know what I mean? That'd be a perfect addition to them. And also, another thing I forgot to do is big up the New York Liberty. They did their thing this year for their season, so we gotta take our hats off for them and hope it set the tone in New York for sure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Real quick, before we move further, our link for tonight's show is StreamYard.com 37Q24IMUBC. Please jump in and jump in for the spin. We here for y'all, man. We want to talk hoops.
Just I might be changing the topic a little bit, but as far as like the upcoming season, I'm looking forward to the development of certain players. Like I'm looking forward, obviously, to development of Wembanyama. Um, obviously, not as obvious, but to me, obviously, I'm a big fan of Amon Thompson over in Houston.
Okay.
See maybe if he got his little, mid range going a little bit, get a jumper going. Because if once he gets that, it's a wrap. The dude is athletically gifted. He's got handles. He could pass. It's a big guard. You know what I mean? And yeah, those two guys, I'm looking forward to seeing how they develop, how they evolve.
Just to jump in real quick, see now you said San Antonio. I mean, look, I'm back in New York, but I have my guilty pleasures outside of New York, right? There's a kid named Castle on San Antonio. Castle. His father is a legendary ball player from Rockaway named Stacy Castle. My peoples is his people, you know what I mean? But Stacy Castle used to ring bells in the New York newspapers all the time. And
I remember Stacy Castle.
He was nice.
I remember Stacy Castle.
He was nice.
He was
a
nice
point guard. Yeah, he was a nice point guard all city, right? His son is like 6'6", 6'8" or whatever, shooting guard, could play defense, offense. He's even on both sides of the court. And from the little tiny bit I made time for as far as like preseason, I seen like he's looking like he want to impose that ability in the NBA, looking like he's looking to, bring it to the NBA. Let's see what happens. I know it's a rookie year. We can't, over project, but I like what I saw of him in college, the little bit that I saw. Just throwing that out. Other than that, my other guilty pleasure is Timberwolves. Yeah, I'm a big Ant-Man. I'm an Ant-Man fan for sure. That's my muse outside of the Knicks, all right?
And it's definitely the truth. Big time.
Hey, we already got a bunch of likes. We thank everybody that's joining the show right now. We are rocking on 5 Facebook channels: YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Mob Press, D-Live, Chovo Nation. We are in the bonus. Yeah. And we got a bonus person on stage with us right now. Let's welcome Dak to the conversation.
Nice.
Peace, Dak. Who are you, brother? And tell us where you are coming from. Welcome to In the Bonus. You gotta unmute your mic, bro.
Hey, what's up? My name's Sakari. I'm your buddy Av's son. So calling you from Rochester. Saying what's up.
Hey, that's wavy. Good. Thanks for jumping in, man. We appreciate it. So what do you see happening in the future hoops, as the article says? What 5 future faces do you predict are gonna rule the NBA in the next, if not this season, in the upcoming seasons?
So my thing right now isn't necessarily just looking at rookies and second years. I think a lot of the guys who are going to be projected to be, top of the league in the next couple of years, like the Tatums, the Anthony Edwardses, guys like that, who's really going to take over and be like the face of the NBA in the future. I think this is going to be the year that really we see guys of that level really step up. So I think, I'm a Celtics fan, so I got to say I think Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are going to be on like the revenge tour this year. So I'll say that first and foremost.
No doubt.
But I'm really looking forward to see Tyrese Halliburton and Pascal Siakam get like a full year together on the Pacers. So that's one thing I really have my eye out for this year.
Yeah, Siakam is nice.
Yeah, they're tough.
What do you guys think of these mentions here? Tyrese, Halliburton, Paolo, Chet Holmgren, Devin Booker, Zion Williamson, Ja Morant, and Trae Young. Ice
Trae. Those are definitely like faces of the league. Definitely, I have nothing against any of those names. They're definitely faces of the league. I mean, there's a lot you could say, and it might not stop when you start talking about each individual. Halliburton definitely is what I like about him, for me, in the new era. He's one of the throwbacks to the pure point guard era in the NBA, or the pure point guard DNA. You know what I mean? He comes across to me as a pass first, shoot later kind of point guard once it gets his team involved, in this shooting era. for me, the criteria of pure point. Well, we actually going to talk more about that actually coming up soon. But I'm big on separation and differential between the pure point guard and the new hybrid score assist guard. You know what I'm saying? Score first, assist later. Because we barely have what I would term as the pure point guard DNA in the league right now. We have very few individuals that carry that DNA. You know, in the mold of like the Magic Johnsons, the Isaiah Thomases, you know, the Rod Stricklands, the Millers, the Mark Action Jacksons in his prime. You know, I mean, he was absolutely pass first, shoot later kind of guy. You know what I'm saying? You know, I see it like that really, you know, but we'll get more into that later on. But yeah. I like Halliburton. I like him.
As far as Halliburton, I think the question is if he could get back to the level that he was at before he got injured, because early on in the season when he like around the in-season tournament, that period, he was probably competing with Jokic to be the best offensive player in the league. But then he got hurt, you know, had to deal with that. He played, you know, to try to those 65 games, I think, to try to get in the requirements for All NBA or, you know, whatever accolades. But he definitely dropped off because he was recovering. Interesting thing about Halliburton, though, that I've noticed is that, like, you know, like coaches when you're young and you're starting up, coaches always tell you don't jump when you pass the ball. Don't jump with the intention of passing the ball. But his trick is that he's actually like weaponized that. That's his thing. You know what I mean? And if you watch the game, he looks you off as he's in the air and, you know, makes the
Magic. Hold on, Magic used to do the very same thing.
Yeah.
I was just gonna go there. And you know where Magic learned it from? You know, I can't help myself. You know, I'm gonna go old school. You know what I'm saying? But hey, real talk, Magic became the greatest at it. All right, as far as my eyes could see from my viewing experience, and of course, doing my research, and YouTube allows you to do that more. You see, back in the day when you're doing research on players you weren't there to see, you had to read about them. So when I read Pistol Pete was the guy that inspired all of that. That's why a lot of the old school ballers like Jerry West and them used to hate on Pistol Pete at every chance they got. Pat Riley, even though he said something nice when Pistol died, and Jerry West, lifetime footage, used to hate on Pistol Pete Maravich for real, right? Because Pete was the first dude breaking all the rules, jumping and passing and all this kind of stuff. And guys like Magic and Isaiah, not to say that was their only idol, but I've heard them on different accounts acknowledge that they really love watching him play and they learned some things off him. They came in the game too and made it the thing because they made it successful. They won championships doing this. You know what I mean? So with that said, that's a good thing that you brought up with Magic.
That's definitely his thing. But with Halliburton, the key to him is if he's shooting like over, you know, low 40, mid 40% from three, that opens it up. That opens up the offense because you have to, you know, you got to come up on him. You got to play up on him. You can't give him that. And with his pass first mentality, with his gifts of passing, that gets everybody else off. Especially when you have now, he has a guy like Pascal Siakam, a legit all-star, one of the top power forwards in the league. You know what I mean? And he'll help too. Siakam will help shore up the defense for them. That's I think, easily the Pacers' weak point. But they're in the East, man. The East is stronger now, man. And they, you know. So
my last mention is going to be I like the kid Shy out of Timberwolves. Isn't that his name?
No, you mean SGA? You mean on the clip? Oh my God, OKC. That's who you referencing?
Oh, SGA.
Yeah.
SGA.
Okay, my bad.
He's phenomenal. There's so many good young point guards right now. He is phenomenal. I'm a huge fan of that dude right there, man. What he's like 6'6", handling the rock like a little man.
I mean, my bad. That's like the little abbreviation for his name. Yeah. Got you.
I'm a big fan of him. I'm a big fan.
Lastly, before we move on to the next topic, which is the big one, the doozy, what do y'all think of my Knickies getting Carl Anthony Towns. Future of the NBO we talking about.
Yeah. I think, initially I wasn't a big fan of the trade, man. And I think it was just because of my emotional attachment to the fact that Randall came and the Knicks were trash and he elevated us. You know what I'm saying? But now looking at the fit, the developing chemistry with him and Brunson on the pick and roll, Cat's ability to score in multiple ways. I'm not going to say 3 levels, but definitely 2. Definitely at the 3 and definitely in the paint. I think it's a good thing. A lot depends on his commitment to defense, but I see them doing really well.
Copy. Yeah, okay, my thoughts on it is like this, right? Talent-wise, I've always respected that dude, Anthony Towns. Got a wicked jumper for a guy his size. I know we're in a new age now that as people get to know the 3 of us, they'll notice with me that I'm a guy that holds an anchor for the low post game. I'm a guy that holds an anchor for the pure point guard play, things like that. You know what I'm saying? But with that said, in respect to how things are done now with the big man shooting 3-pointers and everything, Bill Laimbeer was a progenitor of that. You know what I'm saying? Him amongst a few others after him. But with all that said, I respect his jumper.
Him and Sabonis used to do that a lot.
Facts.
Sabonis, Sabonis, and the
Wallace?
European center for the Lakers.
Oh yeah. Divac.
Vlade.
Right? That's what you're talking about?
Yep, Vlade. Yep.
Vlade.
I would say Tom Chambers, bro. Even though he's power forward.
Tom Chambers.
Oh wow, you took it back.
Tom Chambers is the guy.
Tom Chambers. Rasheed Wallace after them. But the ones who progenitors, Laimbeer, Tom Chambers, you're taking it, 80s heads for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But with that said, the only thing I found a little not to my liking with his game when he was over there with the Timberwolves, he don't post. He can post, but he does not post. He's relied so much on the jump shot. Maybe that saves him injuries, whatever. But my thing is more like inside-outside game is needed. And I think the team that recognizes the importance of a legit inside-outside game is going to be the team that's going to be very dominant for the future. Very dominant. I saw cases where teams like Boston, they have the ability to do it, and I've seen them do it at times when, they actually really needed it, when they was missing those jumpers, and they would go low post and go inside out, you know what I mean, instead of outside in. But, with that said, that's my only thing with him. I like to see, and then, you know what, and it's not to floor him. I have to say it's a flaw in the coaching. I think the coaches have to implement plays that would dictate that he goes down low and build a presence down low. So it's back on the coaches, not really the player on this one. You know what I mean?
I think in Minnesota, though, that might have been too that he was playing power forward. So he's playing out of his position because he had you got big ass Rudy Gobert down there too, taking up all the space.
Yeah, that's true too. That's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah. Rudy's a throwback.
Yeah, he's a throwback for real.
He's like a Mutombo. A better offensive Mutombo. You know what I mean?
don't even know if that's the case.
I might be wrong. Oh, now ain't no backboards breaking anymore unless you were in these what you call it, high schools and stuff. NBA ain't breaking no backboards. Or good old days when you're shattering on people, But there's a lot of good teams out there, man. There's just a lot. The future of the NBA is safe, man. You know what I mean? There's a lot of good teams, man. A lot. Again, even with OKC, with that SGA, I love his playing style, man. He's a great point guard. Great. Great with the passing, great with the scoring. He's a scorer. You know what I mean? I respect him a lot. There's a lot of great point guards out here, man. And funny enough,
Speaking of great point guards, why don't we move on into the main course of this basketball meal?
Oh, one thing real quick. I want to just
go
pick
ahead.
up and shout something real quick before we get into that main topic, right? Because speaking about great point guards, and I played with a lot of them just on a street level. I want to big up 80 Park. You know what I mean? That's where I first learned skills. I've got to give honors to the Burwell family, to the Jennings family, to the Holder family, and to the Austin family. Those are the families that taught me how to play basketball for sure. So I got to big up these families right here. For real, for real. You know what I mean? And Kennedy Park was my next place after I moved from Queens to Long Island to Hempstead. Kennedy Park. So from 80 Park to Kennedy Park, I want to big up my people like James Priestley, my guy Sean Stafford. You know what I mean? Lamont. I got Sap. Man, there's a lot of people. This man next to me, the people are facing the screen. My guy to their right. That's my guy right there too, hooping with me out there too. So, you know, just big ups to the neighborhoods. You know what I mean?
Word up.
Yeah, man. Big ups to all my family that participate in 155th. Big up to, Future Malloy. Big up to Shane the Dribbling Machine. Those are all those dudes. Big up to Big Eric Mobley and the Mobley crew. Edenwald Projects. They introduced me to the whole street ball game coming up. Love them dudes. Legendary dudes down there. All right, man. So we gonna get started, man. Let's kick it off.
All right, now we're at the top of the key. And the main topic of the day is the top 10 point guards of the modern era. The modern era basically being what you would have watched if you were a Gen X kid up to now. You know what I mean? So you're figuring late 80s, mid 80s up to now. And yeah. So we'll start with each of our number 10s and work our way down.
So I know we have a carnival of people to talk about within this segment. This is going to take up the majority of the show. You see, ball player Luck. He's ready to get real clinical with it. He's ready to get real clinical with the whole situation.
Let's get that work.
All right, so
pulled out the files.
Luck in the house. Oh shit.
As I was preparing the show and all my staff was preparing the show, I told Luck this was an arduous task because there's so many good point guards. You got to kind of go through the whole point guard chronology of, pantheon of point guards to ever play the game to really do this justice. And I want to ask before we get started, do you guys have like a top 5 honorable mention on your list?
I do.
I know we were going to go round robin with each, but we'll go one person for your honorable mention on your list. So these are not people that you think are your top 10, but that the people that you thought should make the list. But for one reason or another, you didn't include them.
Copy. Okay, I got one. So we're going to start from 5 to 1 on that one?
No, you just list your 5. Ava lists his 5. I'll list my 5. And then
copy that. Anthony Hardaway, Mark Action Jackson, Kenny Anderson, Tim Hardaway, Rod Strickland.
So do you have an honorable mention list or?
I do. I agree with all of those. I want to throw in Mark Price because I was a big fan of his game.
Nice.
He was Andre Miller.
Yeah, he's a hell of a passer. Pure point guard. Point guard.
Begrudgingly, John Stockton. He got the numbers. You know what I'm saying? I gotta begrudgingly. You know what I'm saying? But we'll deal with that later.
John Stockton. Wow. Okay.
Honorable mention. Whoa.
Yeah, honorable. You know what I mean?
Fire.
But yeah.
No guts, no glory on that one. I love it. I can't wait for the list.
Hey,
Bang bang.
but other than that, man, I'm pretty much in tune with Luck as far as like those guys. Those guys are all great. You know what I mean? Just because of various reasons, just they just didn't quite make my top 10. But yeah,
Copy.
Dope. I got an honorable mention 5 also, and you guys might not agree, but here it is. Chris Paul made my honorable mention list.
All right. Wow.
okay,
Wow.
okay.
Yeah. Chris
Okay.
Paul,
Okay.
Derrick Rose,
All right.
Yeah.
Westbrook,
Yeah.
Sam
Copy
Cassell.
Copy that.
Okay.
You got a strong 5. Nice.
We forget about Sam Cassell. That
We
dude
do.
was dangerous.
The alien. Yeah, we forget him. was
Baron Davis.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
wow. Nice.
Yeah, that dude was like literally unstoppable.
Yes,
And I got Kyle Lowry rounding it off.
Okay.
Okay.
Fair enough, bro. Fair enough. It just shows how many great point guards there are. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I told you this was hard, man. This is hard. And like we didn't get together, just so that the audience knows, we didn't get together and decide on the criteria. This is strictly how we see it. This is strictly our POV. So at home, if you have a POV, please jump in with us, put it in the chat, let us know where you at. We blasting off everywhere. If you happen to catch this or you catch the replay, put it in the chat. We'll read it in the next show. And then we can get busy with everybody's honorable mention for all-time point guards. Modern era.
All right.
So we ready to start the list?
Yeah.
Indeed.
All right.
So who would like to go first?
I mean, I could set
allow
it
my
up.
brother to go first.
All right.
So we
all right.
going round robin this time, right? This time around?
Yeah. One pick. We start at number 10.
And I'm gonna ask you gentlemen to give me some grace, because this was so arduous for me that I had to kind of share spots.
Okay.
I didn't share spots in the top 5, but I shared spots like 10 through 5.
Wow.
10 through
That's
6.
fine. That's fine.
Okay.
That's perfect. Yeah. So my pick for number 10 is Gary Payton, GP, the glove. 9-time All-Star. 95-96. He was a Steals champion, Hall of Fame player. He's got a ring. 9 times All-NBA. 9 times All-Defense. And the only guard that you're going to hear mentioned today that has Defensive Player of the Year. Gotta give him props for that. This is back in the day when 3-point shooting wasn't important, but he still could knock him down. He shot 32% for 3.
Nice.
And fun fact, he's 38th all time in points, which is right above Larry Bird and right behind Clyde the Glide, which is pretty good for a point guard that's known for defense and passing first.
That is true.
Yeah,
that is true. I noticed that too in my little researches. Yeah.
According to NBA 2K database, which is in alignment with the NBA all-time stats, he was 89 for 3-point shooting. That is pretty good.
Yeah.
That's lights out.
Yeah.
And this isn't a guy
that's
who shied away from assignments. You know what I mean? He was guarding Jordan. You know what I mean? He matched up with Jordan. So you got to, as a point guard, that's kind of crazy.
I loved his courage, bro. He was all heart with it. You know what I mean? California dude, loved to see him play.
Oh yeah,
love to see him play. I was rooting for them to beat the Bulls that time. They took him to the hilt, but they needed maybe a third scorer to really match up with them step for step. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
All right, Luck. So who you got for your 10?
My 10th guy is Kevin Johnson, and I got him listed as a pure point guard. Right, 12 years pro, 735 games, 17.9 points per game. 3.3 total rebounds per game, and 9.1 assists per game. And as a pure point guard, that was big with me as his assists. 3-time All-Star, 5-time All-NBA, and in 1988-89 most improved when he was with the Cavaliers. When he left the Cavaliers and went to Phoenix, I should say, that's when he became most improved. But big Kevin Johnson fan. Was a progenitor of the little man with the bungees. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, those legendary dunks. That legendary dunk on Hakeem.
Yeah. He caught some bodies.
Yep, and also my guy went to the NBA Finals. He was the point guard that, along with Charles Barkley, that took the Phoenix squad to the NBA Finals. And before Charles Barkley came to the team, he was their franchise player until Barkley came. You know what I mean? So Barkley came through. Sir Charles had the bigger name, big game to match the name, and this guy became the second player on the team versus the first player on the team. But with that said, they made it to the finals, and he had a hell of a finals performance with 17 points, 6.5 assists, 3 rebounds, and 6 games in the finals. You know what I mean? So Kevin Johnson, big time. Check the highlights, people. Go YouTube.
Yeah, I got a Kevin Johnson kind of angry story. I had the chicken pox, and Kevin Johnson was on one of them Sally, Jesse Raphael, Ricky Lake, whatever show he's on, and they're talking about something, whatever they talking about, and I think somebody hinted that he was going to try to come to the Knicks. And I was so excited. That got me through the damn chicken pox. It never happened. I was tight. I was like, yo, they finally gonna get past some help. Like, yeah, let's go. And it never happened. Wah, wah, wah. Yeah. Yeah, man. So that's my little Kevin Johnson joint. But I love that dude, all heart. Love to watch him play. Always thought he needed more help on Phoenix. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You couldn't hate watching a dude like that. All guts. Yeah. You know what I mean? Absolutely. Especially for his size.
Absolutely.
He caught Elijah and I believe he caught Mark Eaton too, if I remember correctly.
He did. He caught Mark Eaton. He did. He caught him.
Yeah, fearless with the bungees, like you said, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. He's the progenitor to the Roses. Iverson at one time had some serious bungees on him at one time. The Marburys, Marbury has serious bungees too. A lot of people forget.
Yeah.
Stephon Starbury had some real bungees on him on the low. But I would say that guy kind of was like the progenitor on the in the NBA, platform at that height, doing that. So from point guard, you know what I mean? Word. All right. What say you, Vic?
My 10 is Tim Hardaway.
Good choice.
I applaud you. Good choice.
Tim Hardaway, and I'm gonna explain why. I think he, every once in a while you'll come across a player that revolutionizes the position. And I think with his style of crossover and that step back to the three or that dribble drive off the crossover, that crossover between the legs that nobody really does anymore, the big man getting in the paint and making it happen with the dribble drive. I think, those sorts of things are commonplace now. But I thought he showed, point guards that he kind of revolutionized the way that point guards dribble the ball.
Okay.
And that was pivotal to the growth of, the up and down court, the expansion of the up and down court, the excitement in half court play. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then you got guys like Iverson that came along and just mastered it, and just did that lazy hezzy to the crossover and just killed people. So, and then of course, Marbury with the fancy dribbling, and everybody that Isaiah was good. Isaiah could have did it, but he just was more about like he was with that, Indiana, take it to the hole, kid, stop wasting time.
the Indiana coach. The
Yeah.
Indiana coach wouldn't let him
Bob
get fancy
Bob
with
Knight.
the dribbling.
Bob Knight.
Bob Knight, yeah,
Oh,
Bob
shit.
Knight wouldn't let him get fancy with the dribbling, but I think Isaiah had the opportunity and the talent to do it. But I think he just saw Bob Knight in his dreams. What are you doing, kid? Dribble the fucking ball. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Throwing a chair at him or some crap. But yeah, I chose Hardaway because I thought he had the moxie to kind of do that step back crossover dribble and just catch people, and was so pronounced with it. And I think his ascension to doing that led to it becoming a guard featured league. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah. So so on my list, what I did, just to preface it, I put, not only did I put, my favorites, but I put like generational players that I thought revolutionized their position. So that's my 10th. That's my 10th. That's my 10th joint.
Okay. Cool.
Nice,
Cool.
nice.
Let's roll to 9.
All right.
And he used to kill my Knicks too. So I had to,
Oh,
That's
yeah.
true too.
You gotta tip your hat. You gotta tip your hat to them.
What they call that? The UTEP 2-step.
Yeah, man.
Sure.
UTEP 2-step.
Uh-huh.
Shout out to a brother of mine that mastered that Hardaway crossover. Shoot, boy, my guy Brett down in Hempstead had mastered that crossover to a T. I've seen him hurt a lot of people's ankles with that, man. So big ups to him. Word. All right, so who coming up with their 9 first?
I'll stay
All right,
first, man.
I go first.
All right, go ahead.
All right, go first. Yep. Yo, I got pure point guard, and there's certain times I'm not gonna say that whole phrasing. Pure point guard, Stephon Marbury, career length 13 years, 846 games, 19.3 points per game, 3 total rebounds per game, 7.6 assists per game, 2-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA, and 1996-97 All-Rookie. And that's that's it. That's my guy, Stephon Marbury, the first guy to come with affordable sneakers for the community, and also an icon.
Nah, that was hot. I not only did I love the talent, but I always loved him for that approach to his, his fame. You know what I mean? Using it for, things that were going to benefit not other people other than himself. I don't know if it was a tax write-off or whatever, but even if it was, good for him. I think he did his damn thing with that. How'd you like those sneakers though, Av? Did you get any Starberry joints at a certain point? They was everywhere.
Yeah, they was. No, I didn't. It's kind of unfortunate people look down on them because they had the reasonable pricing. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe it was because of the style. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't a big fan of the shoes myself, but
I had a couple of pairs.
Nice.
I ain't gonna hold you up. I had a couple of pairs.
Yeah.
I had a couple of pairs. Also, too, I'm gonna also send a shout out to my brother Rube, because he's the reason why I actually met Marbury, and I actually played ball with him for like about 2 days, a Saturday and a Sunday. He came to 80 Park. Ruben brought him over, because the guys, Marbury's big brother was living in Section 3 out in Rossdale Village. So he used to see my brother come out and play ball in the mornings by himself practicing. And he said, yo, Shorty, come over here. And, that's how I talked back then. And he was like, yo, man, I got my younger brother, blah, 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 show him around. And that's how we ended up playing with Steph Marbury. And I'm gonna tell you guys something. This young man, at the age of like 13, was holding his own against grown men, telling grown men where to cut to the basket, shooting shots from midcourt back then. And the big phrasing of the year was, yo, I'm from Brooklyn. That was his thing. I'm from Brooklyn. They're like, hey, Shorty, you got to respect the line. You can't just go past the line without checking the ball. Man, I'm from Brooklyn. So
No doubt. Coney Island's finest.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. I'll never forget. I was visiting my queen, now my wife for some years now, and right at her park, right on. Oh man, is it Guy Brewer? No, in Hollis. Sorry, the park is in Hollis because my lady lived right off 212, Jamaica, and him and Mark Action Jackson running. Mark is on one team, he's on another, and they just making it look like the Harlem Globetrotters out there. Piece, crazy,
Oh,
great memory, great memory.
Oh,
By the way, that's the same park 50 Cent filmed Raising Canaan into. Same park.
good to know.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, real dope, real dope.
Good to know.
Park right in the middle of Hollis, real dope. All my Hollis people, big up, big up. So Av, did you give your ninth yet?
I did not.
Okay.
My ninth, excuse me, may be a little controversial. Some people may think it's a little too early to put him at this spot.
Oh
But
boy,
I think
let's hear it.
as time goes on, I think he's going to pass a lot of people on this list, actually. And for number 9, my pick is Luka Doncic. Already, he's a 5-time All-Star. He's a scoring champ. 5 times All NBA. Rookie of the Year. Western Conference Finals MVP. The numbers. Basically, he's a triple double. He's averaging 28.7 points a game, 8.7 rebounds a game, and 8.3 assists. At 47% from the field, 35% from 3. And his weakness, kind of for somebody as skilled as him, is his free throws. So he's only 75%, and he's been known to miss a few.
Wow.
You know what I mean? But can't really be sped up. You know what I mean? He plays at his pace. Yeah, they were just in the finals against the Celtics last season. You know what I mean? Basically on his back and on Kyrie's back at the 2. Yeah. So can he stay in shape? Can he, improve a bit in defense? That's the key. But yeah, I think in his young career already, he's accomplished a lot more than most NBA players ever, really. And we'll see what he does.
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one there. I ain't gonna hold you up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should have known you was gonna come with something. Come out your bag with something. I didn't see Luka coming. Okay. Yeah, he's a pure point guard at heart. I'm gonna say that. I will say to a degree he has that a little bit of that DNA in him. A little bit, because he kind of reminiscent of the Bird Magic sort of mentality.
Right.
A little bit of both of them spliced in between. Bird's ability to score, even though Magic had it too, but Magic elected to be the pure point guard, and I give him credit. At 6'9", it takes a lot. Anyway, we ain't gonna get into that. Good pick. I didn't see it. Nice.
So what you got, Vic? For your number 9.
Oh, for my number 9, my niner. Okay, so my niner is Penny Hardaway. So the reason why I picked Penny Hardaway was, again, outside of Magic, one of the bigger point guards to come out. His offensive game was just as good as his assist game. He was long, he was rangy, he could do whatever he wanted to do on the court. And if you guys ever saw the Penny Hardaway special, I think he was one of the most recruited college players ever, or high school players ever. Sorry, he was one of the most recruited high school players ever. I think he must have had like over 50 Division I offers, and it was actually like a bidding war for him, and it was crazy. But to see him coming into, I think his career was cut short by injury. Like we know his career was cut short with injury, and to see him go up against Jordan and them in the finals, I knew he had arrived, and I wanted to see more from him. And then he had even with the merchandising, the iconic Lil Penny with Chris Rock, and remember that the little puppet that used to be with him
Yes.
on the
Yeah.
commercial. I was trying
Absolutely.
to find a Lil Penny clip, but I couldn't find it, so I was gonna play it during this joint. But
Oh,
yeah,
no doubt, no doubt.
yeah, he's my guy. And then of course that squad they had, with Scott and all the rest of them dudes. They had some fire, man. I was a little
They had
upset when
fire.
he couldn't continue. I thought he probably, for a kid his size, he probably had the most talent at that
Yeah.
position.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
as his career progressed, I started thinking, well, maybe they should just move him to the 2 because he was so talented at scoring.
Right.
And I thought that the Magic may need him in more ways than just being a distributor. And they would need his scoring more than they needed his distributing. So, that was my hope that happened. But I thought, Penny Hardaway, another generational player for me.
Can I
For
jump
sure.
in real quick? I can't help myself. I really want to refrain from commenting on your picks. I love I love Penny Hardaway. I'm a huge fan. Like what I had written on the honorable mention was that, real short, if it wasn't for injuries, he would be in my top 4. And I would have put him against anyone barring injury if he'd have continued at the rate he was at before
Right.
injury.
Right.
Big fan of his. Big fan.
Right. But when you see the Russell Westbrooks of the world, and you see all of these dominant scoring point guards now, the Donovan Mitchells, you could, when they go into the NBA catacombs, you can't skip a Penny Hardaway and not be a fan. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Not
I
saying,
got
yo,
respect.
that was a special
Respect for
dude,
that.
But
Very special. Very special.
we often know that the C-suite of the NBA kind of takes the funk from these players, so to speak, and makes the game more of a business than a love. And that leads to
Right.
if your mind is in a different place, then the body goes into a different place, and then those injuries and not playing as well sets in, yada yada yada. But let's continue. Number 8.
Number 8.
Right.
Luck, what you got?
I have the answer. And the answer is not a pure point guard, but the answer is Allen Iverson. 14 seasons, 914 games. No matter how many times somebody threw him on the ground trying to enter the lane, like he was 6'6" when he was really just 6 feet. 26.7 points per game, 3.7 rebounds per game at 6 feet and very wiry, 6.2 assists per game. So really his stat line looked more like today's point guard. So he is ahead of his time. He's a progenitor of today's point guard, the shoot first, score first, assist later point guard. And I don't mean it in a bad way because we have people making it to the championship with point guards at that position with that mentality. Hall of Fame, 11-time All-Star, 4-time scoring champ, 3-time steals champion, 7-time All-NBA, 1996-97 All-Rookie, 1996-97 Rookie of the Year, and that was a tough crop that he came up with.
One of the best.
All-Star MVP. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they say that was the best class, right? 2-time
One of the
All-Star MVP. 2000 to 2001 MVP. Yep, 2001 MVP. NBA 75th anniversary team, definitely. So AI is my guy at number 8. And also, he did take his team to the finals. Being a progenitor of the shooting, the scoring point guard, right? Averaged 35.6 points a game, 5.6 rebounds. Well, he even increased his rebounds in that scrawny frame of his. And 3.8 assists in 5 games in the NBA Finals in his career. And that was against who? None other than the mighty Los Angeles Lakers, Shaq and Kobe. So,
And he even
that's
stole
my
a game.
guy.
And he even stole the first
Indeed.
game. Jack and Kobe was like,
Indeed.
yo, this little dude is crazy. We got to wake up. We got to wake up and give it to him. Yeah.
Shaq went back and said he ain't gonna dunk on me.
Yeah.
Word.
He might just try,
Yeah. I need more
Yeah.
icy hot.
Mhm.
The mama was like, he can't steal the spotlight from me.
Yeah.
Let me start jacking.
Yep. For
Yeah,
real.
man. Yeah, man.
The late great Kobe.
That's a great pick. That's a great pick. For
Good
my
point.
number 8, I got Westbrook, man. I got Westbrook. He's not very popular right now, but this guy's a 9-time All-Star, 2-time scoring champ, 3-time assist champ, 9 times All NBA. Got an MVP in 2016-17. You talk about 21 points a game, 7 rebounds, 8 assists for his career. Not the most efficient guy, 44% field goals, 30% for the 3-point line, 78% free throws. But the one thing about Westbrook, man, it don't matter. It's the first game of the season, a game 7 or whatever series. He's going 110 miles per hour every possession. And he's giving you everything. I seen this dude play basically with a hole in his skull from an elbow. It literally had a dent in his skull. He didn't even come out the game, bro. The dude's a beast. You know what I mean? It's a beast.
Yeah, Westbrook.
Maybe the most athletically gifted point guard. Maybe. I'm not sure.
It's arguable. It's arguable. To be honest with you, I was always D Rose all day, right? But Westbrook came and made me a believer because I wasn't a fan of his at first. Not at first. But then as he started, I became a fan. I must admit, he made me a believer.
Mm-hmm.
Big fan of his. Triple-double king. And you know what? I want to say thank you to Westbrook because I didn't get to see Oscar Robertson in lifetime doing that. My researches on him was reading. And then when YouTube came around, got to see some real footage, right? But Westbrook gave us that in a new age form in a lifetime. My salute to him. Being at that size, doing the things he's done. So I'm not a big critic of his know-how. I love Russell Westbrook as a ball player. Yep. Who you got, Vic?
So for my 8, I have a tie. My two-way tie is between Steve Nash and Tony Parker.
Wow.
And the reason I gave that a tie is because one of my big filters is those who won need to be mentioned. Because that's the pinnacle. If you lead, like that's a long season. 82 games is a hell of a long way to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're dealing with grown men money, attitudes, and you got to be the floor general. Everybody's a devo, right?
Mm-hmm.
Debo, whatever you want to call them, right? And everybody want their spotlight, and to general men to a finals over that period of time, dealing with all of the mics in your face and the shorties after the game and at the hotel, and that's a hell of a commitment, man. You know what I mean? So Tony, for me, even though Tony Parker might not have been the most athletically gifted point guard to ever play the game, he was hella efficient when he was on. When he was on, he was on. You know what I'm saying? And he knew how to manipulate the ball to the hole. He knew how, kind of he kind of had the James Harden touch where you go to the hole and you kind of give your body up enough to get an and one. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then somebody had to lead that dynasty in the way that they went. Somebody had to lead that Spurs championship runs that they had, all the playoff games, all the chip runs. So I got Tony Parker for that, and I got Nash just for his longevity, man. And secret fantasy of mine is I always wanted to see that team with Marion and Stoudemire and all the rest of them dudes, all that talent that was on that rich squad, and he made the passing look silly. He made it look easy for them to do what they do and play above the rim. Before Lob City, he had them dudes playing above the rim. You know what I'm saying?
He did.
You know what I mean? So, between the two, that was my three-way tie between Nash and Tony Parker.
He did. And you know what? Tony Parker is a very humble guy. He did something that I seen Iverson do. You know, funny enough, these are the eights that we're talking about, right? So you said Tony Parker, I said Iverson, and what I've seen those two guys do is give prosperity to my eight, Marbury. You know, I've seen Iverson say, "Oh my God, that guy over there." When I seen him, you know, he said to Shaq, when I saw Marbury across the court, I said, "Oh man, he's here too." And also, too, Tony Parker once said that the point guard he feared the most in the league was Stephon Marbury because of his skill and strength. So it was just interesting that you picked this guy at number 8, and it kind of leads into a segue story outside of my personal story with Marbury. But yeah, those guys are aces, man, and you're right. You know, now Parker took his team to the dance, so I got to respect that.
Yeah, my son and I were having a little debate, so I'll let y'all answer it. I didn't look it up when I was preparing the show. How many chips did that Spurs team win? Do y'all remember?
Off the head? No.
Yeah, just off the head.
I don't want to lie. I'll look it up right now.
Okay.
I'll look it up as
Yeah.
we continue.
It just seems like they had such a dominant stretch.
Yeah.
You know,
I think
with
what it was
Parker.
is that they never went. I don't think they went back to back, but they had like half of that decade. I'm pretty sure.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were, especially with the European kid with the European kid coming off the bench. What was his name? He was the sixth man. The Italian guy.
Ginobili
for 3.
Yeah, he was a bad
They were
lefty,
tough.
boy.
That was tough.
That was a tenacious lefty, boy. I gotta say, he made lefty.
Yeah, that was tough.
Right.
Scrappy dudes, man.
Oh yeah. Let's roll
Parker.
on to number 7.
Oh, you have an
Wow.
answer for us, Av? Hold on, real quick. You got the answer?
Yeah, Parker won 4. Tim Duncan won 5. But
There you
Tony
go.
Parker was part of 4 of them.
That's an accomplishment, and that's when I said
Oh,
I know it was more than 2. I wasn't sure if it was 3 or 4. And then I said, man, like, here's a question for the audience and a question for my esteemed panel, right? There has to be something to be said for if and when you might not be the flashiest point guard, but if you can lead your team to multiple championships, shouldn't you be considered in the greats of the greats like that?
I think it's part of the conversation. I don't think it's the whole conversation though, because rings kind of are like a team accomplishment. You contributed to it, and you were necessary. You know what I'm saying? So it adds to your stature, but I don't think it defines your stature. You know what I'm saying? I'll take, like I would say, if you want an MVP, a season MVP, that's more important to me than you winning a championship. As far as grading a player, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
An individual player, but I feel like rings are more of a team accomplishment.
Yeah, I could ride with that. I could agree with that. No contradiction on that from me.
There's a lot of dudes who was nice that was on trash teams. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of dudes that was nice that just never got the shot and they was on garbage teams.
Yeah.
You know?
You have guys who are like what I call engine players. You know, like LeBron James to me is an engine player. You know, meaning like he's the engine of the team. You know, you might even want to floor your engine players. Like Magic Johnson was an engine player. What Magic and LeBron had in common, not to stretch into that because we got to get back to these picks with the time we have. But they both were engine players, and they were both, how could I say, for a long time in their career, they were looked upon as people that weren't clutch as far as the ending of a game goes for a long time, until they both had these struggles and they overcame their struggles in very memorable ways. But I'll leave that there. But they're engine players. And sometimes the engine player gets the MVP, but there's just areas like that, making it to the championship or even like closing out the game that, you know, they just kind of miss on, you know? Word. So what we got? We got what? Number 7.
Number 7.
Uh-huh.
All right, I said it all. Number 7, kind of repeating is Nash. 8-time All-Star, 5-time assist champ, 7-time All-NBA. Got 2 MVPs. Probably should have got 1. You know what I mean? But yeah, probably should have got 1. I don't know if you see the shirt, the Shaq. You know what I'm saying? But that's debatable.
Hey, show the shirt one more time. Show the shirt.
Oh, wrong side. I don't know if you see the shirt. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
That's neither here nor there. You know what I'm saying? 14 points a game, 3 rebounds a game, 8.5 assists a game. One of the few guys that was in the 50-40-90 club with 50% for the field, 90% for the line, 40% from 3. I believe he did it once or twice. But yeah, it's one of the great point guards. He's one of the great point guards, very efficient, very pass first. The pure point guard as pure point guard gets.
Indeed. Just letting some more people hitting me up. So I'm just okay, kind of show stuff. Okay. Yeah, so who I got? Okay, so my number 7 is Chris Paul. And again, in front of his name I got pure point guard written, pure point guard Chris Paul. Experience 19 years, 1,272 games, 17.5 points per game, 4.5 total rebounds per game, 9.4 assists per game, 9.4, as he's bridging the gap from the era of pure point guard to the era of hybrid scoring guard. Even though we know Iverson, we were saying Iverson is a progenitor of that, but the era has really started taking up, I believe, when Curry and these guys got in the league. But Chris Paul, the pure point guard, and also led his team to the finals, right? With an average of 21.8 points per game, 8.2 assists per game, and 2.7 rebounds per game in 6 games in the NBA Finals. So that's another reason why I had him at number 6, is because he didn't finally make it to the dance, right? So, yeah, Chris Paul's my number 6. Hell of a passer. For me personally, what I like about Chris Paul is that he was like a combo guard, right? He was a mixture of 2 players for me. He reminded me a little bit of Chauncey Billups as far as like his scoring ability. Rather who was a better scorer between the two is here nor there. I didn't research Billups, but I was a fan of Billups, right? But because of his size and everything too, he reminded me of Billups a little bit. But also he had a little bit of Isaiah in his game too, with the way he would handle that ball as far as a pure dribbler, right? And the fact that he had the pass first mentality, he was clutch, he had the clutch gene. And again, back to the pure point guard, you know what I mean? So that's my guy for number 7, Chris Paul.
All right, so my guy for number 7 is, who do I have? Oh, I have Chauncey Billups.
A name I mentioned, look at that.
Okay.
Yeah, man, Chauncey Billups led what was the Detroit dynasty, or at least they seemed like a dynasty to me. They were everywhere. They were, unstoppable. And it seemed like he was the perfect floor general for them. And with the amount of presence that team had in the NBA at that time, they could just take over a game defensively if they wanted to. They could take over a game offensively if they wanted to. And they were led by Chauncey Billups with that 3 and that floor presence. And he was nobody to be bullied around at the point guard position. And I truly believe that team wouldn't have, if you got your hand on the ball as much as he did, I don't think they are the same team if Chauncey Billups is not the point guard for that team.
Agreed.
The way he said rip up on the elbow to hit all those, to make all those shots. I don't think Rip's career is the same without Chauncey Billups. Everything that he accomplished as this kind of automatic, mid-range jump shooter. Right. Somebody had to make it easy for him. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's my 7, Chauncey Billups.
Okay. Okay.
I can roll with that. I like that.
For number 6, a guy that was already mentioned, Allen Iverson. I'm a rock with everything Luck said. I'm just list some accomplishments. He's a 4-time scoring champ, 3-time steal leader. I think you mentioned that. He's got an MVP. Yeah, I would say about him. To me, he was, in my mind, a lot of people debate about him being a 2 guard as opposed to a 1. But in my mind, I see like his counting stats are very similar to Curry's. So like if you're calling Curry a point, you got to call this guy a point. You know what I mean? But yeah, my number 6 is AI.
One of my faves, so can't argue with that.
I got somebody trying to find it on IG. What they got to do on IG? Just put the name of the show in, right?
I can't hear what you're saying.
Oh, like on IG. How do they get to this show? Do they just gotta type it in, right?
Oh, you know what? There's a delay on IG. They just put it on the IG. What do you call that? The videos. They have it on the IG video reels as they go around. So
Okay.
you'll just have to catch it that way. But he can catch it on Twitch. He can catch it on Facebook. He can catch it on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. We're all over the place.
And Facebook, we just have to type in the bone.
Well, if you want to find it, you could tap in, maybe on YouTube, you could type in a bonus, or you could do it on Facebook as well. It's definitely on the AJ James channel. It's on the Deadline newspaper channel as well. So you could type in the Deadline, and it should be on there as well.
Okay. And right now, we're also live on YouTube.
We're live on YouTube right now. We're live on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. We are in Instagram on their rotation, and we're on 5 Facebook channels.
Okay. And on YouTube,
All
they
right.
just got to put it in the bonus. Basketball show?
Yeah, in the bonus. You should be able to get.
Okay.
You should be able to get, because that's the way I titled it. I titled it in the bonus hoop show.
Hoop show. Okay.
Because it was a lot of different in the bonus things on YouTube. So I just want to kind of
Yeah, that
differentiate
sounds
it.
about right.
Yeah.
Right, that sounds about right. Cool.
All right.
I'm gonna send
So
them
we are in overtime, gentlemen. So do you want to have a part 2 to the top 10 guards of all time? Because we're at what? 6 now, right?
6.
Yeah.
Yep. So you know what? Yeah, we could do that. Let's do that. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. All right. So let's jump into real quick. Let's jump into what if. And Brother Av, he
Okay,
can
cool.
he could take over an intro. Here we go.
What if? So basically, what if is what if this happened? What if that happened in the NBA? What if Tim Duncan went to Orlando? What if Brandon Roy and Greg Oden were fully healthy and had great careers? This segment of the show, we're leaving up to you, the audience, to decide what we expound upon, what we explore on. So put your suggestions in the chat as to what you would like us to talk about. My suggestion, my first pick would be what if Timmy went to Orlando? I'd really like to get into that, see how he would work with McGrady, how he would work with Hill. That would be crazy. Yeah, Vic, what if would you like to get into?
Okay, so my what if is, what if Chris Webber went to the Knicks after Hewan was traded? That was a big deal. Right after the Knicks went to the finals, and they thought Hewan was used goods, and they were trying to bring Webber to the Knicks, and they spent a crap ton of money on Allen Houston, which pissed me off. And they should, Sprewell was good friends with C. Webb, and he was trying to get C. Webb off that old team that he was rotting on. and get him in New York so he can have something to play for. And that's my what if. So let us know at home if you want us to dive into what if Chris Webber came to the Knicks. So, ball player Luck, tell us your what if.
That's me. My what if is it was a story that I heard on one side of on one side of the court, but I saw they had another side of the court to go with it, right? So meaning like this. So this goes back to the 80s when Michael Jordan was in the draft. It was Michael Jordan and Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon in the draft with Sam Bowie from Kentucky, right? So the thing was, the side of it I used to hear about is that Portland could have gotten Jordan instead of Sam Bowie. So what if Jordan would have been on the Trailblazers with Clyde the Glide Drexler, right? Who was a second-year man at that point, who they were just going to allow to start scoring the ball a lot better than the year before. Now, the second side of that what if, the other side of the court was one I didn't think about, and I just saw it the other day. What if the Houston Rockets traded with the Blazers Ralph Sampson for the Trailblazers pick, and they maintained and kept their pick, which means they would have had a crack at Jordan and Hakeem. What if? So they would have traded Ralph Sampson for Drexler, of course, and with one other player. And they would have had the option of drafting Hakeem with their pick and also Jordan with the Blazers pick. No, actually, with the Blazers pick, they could have drafted Hakeem, actually. And then with their own pick, they could have got Clyde Glide. So it was just, what would have happened if that happened? You know, what would have happened with the NBA if that would have occurred? You know, that's the what if.
So yours is, so what's the main one you want the people to respond to?
Oh, true. I would go with the other one, the last one I did. So the what if I'm gonna say is, what if the Houston Rockets were going to give in to the Trailblazers offer for Ralph Sampson by giving them Clyde the Glide and their pick? What would have happened with Houston if they would have took that deal and now have the option of drafting Hakeem and Jordan and have Clyde the Glide in the trade? It's a very intricate situation, but that's it. The foundation of it is, what if the Rockets would have took the Blazers offer to give them Ralph Sampson for Clyde the Glide and one of the number one top 5 picks? And actually the number one pick, actually. Yeah, actually. So that's the what if.
Okay. And I'm typing it all out so I can put it on the screen for the people. Okay.
Oh, okay. Sure.
So we got one. And what was yours? Say yours one more time, Av, so everybody got it.
What if Tim Duncan went to Orlando?
What if Duncan went to Orlando? All right. So we have that one here. We have this one here. And what's the last one? All right.
Actually, there's a little twist to it. A little twist to that is, what if technically it would have been if Houston would have drafted Hakeem and Jordan. Yeah.
Oh, they came out the same year?
Yeah, Hakeem and Jordan came out the same year. Clyde the Glide was out before them, but the crux of the deal was the Blazers wanted to offer Clyde Drexler and their number one pick to Houston for Ralph Sampson. Yeah, that's a I ain't gonna hold you. That one got a lot of moving parts. Maybe, I got a lot of moving parts.
All right, y'all. So y'all heard the what ifs, man. Get at us in the chat. Let us know where you're at. That's a new thing that we're doing on the show. To let y'all know, that is our what if. in the bonus zone opportunity. Now I know Av wanted to throw out a trivia question to the people. So let's do that right quick before we get out of here.
Yeah, just a quick one. Just a quick one. You guys, if you know, you could answer it if you think you know it. There are 3 active players in the top 20 all time for steals. 3 players that are still playing right now. Who are they? Any guesses? No, I mean, you know, if you had, you know, the audience could answer it in the chat in the future, and yeah, that's what the question is.
Players.
Yeah, so please jump on.
The top 20.
And yep, top 20. Yep. So
Yep.
you guys got your homework. You know what I mean? We want to leave y'all with something to do and something to chew on as we get ready to head out. So, Brother Av, will you take us out
Yes,
for this
definitely,
great
man.
in the bonus show?
Thank you for joining us, checking us out.
right.
Run those likes up, subscribe. We're gonna be doing this again, on and on in the future in the bonus, the Hoop Show for Hoop Heads. Shout out to my brother Vic. Shout out to Ball Player Luck, and yeah, have a good night. Peace and love.
Yes. Peace and love.